we can't be getting all into single people's business and then say, well, we can't get in married people's
Oh
business. We
no,
have so
I
many
never said that.
opinions. We have so many opinions about what single people feel
Lord,
and do and how valuable they are, but
you see
but
that?
now we got to stay out of married
You don't
people's
know I'm
business. And
single,
I
right?
just think that y'all should stay out of all of the people's business because,
Lady L,
like,
she talking about the whole conversation, not just
yeah,
you.
just
But
the
like
whole thing.
this is the
But
overarching.
But I've never said get in single people business. I'm just
no, no, no,
saying.
no. I didn't say no.
Not
I
Okay.
didn't say you
I
did.
want
But
her to
I'm just
finish because
saying.
she didn't get a chance to talk. She right.
I'm saying how things have gone.
Hmm.
And we like to stay out of married people's business, but we be all in single people's business, judging them, judging how they live their life, judging if they're happy or not, judging all of the things, especially women, not men. But women, single women in particular, we love getting in single women's business and critiquing how they go about their lives and placing or subtracting, adding or subtracting value to them as if they're a product or something that you buy off the shelf. It
They
and
are.
it's just been that I am not for sale.
It's a
It is not.
metaphor, though.
None of my life, none of my existence is of any monetary value. There is no, I am not a slave on the fucking block for
Okay, we didn't say
auction.
you was a
That
slave.
is what it feels like. I'm telling you what it
You
feels
do
like.
have a
This is
shelf,
as
but
a
you do
single
have a
woman.
shelf life.
Hold on. As a single woman, this is what it feels like when you talk about us. And I'm not saying that this is what you are doing, but when you talk about us the way you do, when you talk about us using our vagina as leverage, when you do that, it feels like I'm a slave on an auction block
Why do you do that?
going
Why
for
does
the
it feel like that?
highest bidder and then saying, no, she not good enough. You looking at my gums, you looking at my vagina, bend over, let me see this, let me see your toes. And that's what it feels like as a single woman.
Okay, I
And
get it.
you trying to place value on someone that is a human is crazy to me.
But
And
look,
so this
Bohemian.
whole
But let me
conversation
hop
has
in
been
here.
what
I hear
women
what you're
are
No, let her
saying,
let her
worth.
Bo.
finish. Let her finish. Let her finish. Let her finish.
This whole conversation and all of these conversations have this commonality to them, and it is what single women are worth to you. And how they choose to live their life takes value away from them. I
Yes.
feel like the way women choose to, I feel like the way people in general choose to live their
Hmm.
lives, especially if they are living their lives in a positive way,
Hold on.
adds
Where we
value
go,
to
Coach?
them. Every single experience that I have had adds value to me.
What about a
It does
negative way?
not take value away
What if they
from
live
me.
it in a negative way?
Say what?
What if they make poor choices and live it in a negative way? You don't think it
If
takes
they're
value?
learning from them, it adds value to them. I don't understand what y'all don't understand about how life works. Life works like
I've been
you
around
live
here
life, you
What if they're
make
not?
mistakes, and you
Okay.
learn
been through
from
it
them.
all.
That adds
There's some
value to
poor
your
behavior
life.
that they're not learning from. It's nothing to learn
Yeah,
from.
we
It's
gotta
already
stop
But then
capping.
also
Single women, some of
the
these,
thing
come
is,
on, we gotta stop doing that for single women. We know
But
half of
let's
them
not
sleeping
say,
around
what
but
like
is
we
sleeping
can't
around.
say
what's
that
unfair
single
Listen,
about it
women
you
though
are
may
is
not
not
be that
learning.
way. You may not be that way, but let's just be real. Men want sex. We got to cut the cap out, okay? They're gonna look at you the way they want to look at you. Stop sleeping with them. We gotta stop
no
capping. We gotta
no.
Okay,
stop. We
The
if we
cannot.
want to
argument.
stop,
Hold on, y'all.
okay, if we
Hold on,
need
Okay.
to
love. Hold
stop
on, Rachel. Hold
Good
on,
capping,
Rachel. Hold
night.
on.
This
Hold
has
on.
been
Hold on.
great.
Hold on, y'all. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
I
Hold on.
can't. I can't
Y'all, just
because
like
y'all
y'all
are not
try to
listening to
dictate
what
a
I'm
man
saying.
pockets,
You're not a
you no,
single
no,
woman, and
single.
I'm giving my account as a
Hold
single woman.
on. I got it. But you try to dictate a man pockets and tell him what the hell he can do, but he can't look at you. That's just how men are. Don't
That's
sleep with them. It's so
I don't
simple.
care
no,
how a
it's
That's just
cool
man
if they
another
is.
man
would.
If
how
they
they look
are,
at
not
you.
if
If
It's
you're
no
not the
matter.
point,
Go
devaluing me,
open your
you're
Lady
not
legs
a
O.
and
man I
problem
want.
solved,
That's not the
sis.
point,
That's
Lady O.
it.
That's not the point,
No,
Lady O.
It
you
is
You
the
are
you know
point.
what's
pushing it.
you know what's
What,
an
Not the
issue
point,
for
Lady O.
lady?
me. Wait,
Hold
it's a
on,
very big
because this
issue
is
for
what it
I
me
is.
have to
that we
Because
will
this is
sit
what I'm
here and we will
saying.
say a woman is a product with a shelf life, but a man
But
is not a
y'all not
a
saying
product
about
man ain't a
with a
men.
product
shelf
of his
Leave
life.
men
pockets. A man
out
is
of
not.
it.
A
I'm
man
not
is
talking
not.
about men. talking about me as a single woman.
Okay, well,
Take
don't
men
sleep
out
with
of
them.
it.
Problem
Fuck
solved.
men. Take
You're
them
not
out of
gonna,
the
you're gonna
equation. I'm
waste
talking
your
about
life
me
worrying about
as
what
a
men
single
want.
woman.
You're gonna
Y'all
waste
are
your life
placing
away.
value.
You're trying to
I'm
dictate what a
done. Don't
man
worry about it.
wants.
It's cool.
I'm just saying,
Don't worry about it.
boss.
I'm
You're
good.
trying to
Hold on.
dictate what a
I'm
Lady
man
good.
O,
wants.
Lady
You're
O,
never
Lady
gonna
O,
do
you're
Good night.
it.
talking,
Because y'all
Lady
not
O,
listening to me.
you're talking past them and you're not listening to them.
You're
The
not
whole
listening.
Listen, I don't
point
have to
was,
listen to them because I'm
well,
trying to
no,
teach them. I'm older than
they
them.
not
They're trying to
asking
tell
you
me.
to
I'm
teach
trying to
them.
tell
They
We're in the
asking
them.
you
same
to
age group,
listen.
Lady O.
They're
We're in the
asking you to
same age
listen.
group.
Y'all
I'm
the
in your
one complaining
generation.
about men. I'm
Lady
not
O,
complaining
Lady
about
O,
men.
did you hear what she said?
No.
I don't want to because she's not
Then what is
saying
the point of
anything
you up here
valid.
having a
I'm
why
not
are you
trying
up
to
here
be
having a
funny,
conversation if you're
but
not?
she's
Then why
not
you talking to
saying
me?
Why are
anything
you
of
talking if you're not?
value.
Listen,
She's
listen to
not.
Lady
The
O,
only I
Lady
don't
O, Lady
care.
O, Lady
Sweetie,
O.
stop.
Yo,
Stop
you
having
stop. Stop.
sex.
Stop.
That's
Lady
the
O,
problem
please stop.
solved. We don't
Please
care.
stop.
So I
Please
don't have
stop.
no value. So you don't want
Please
to talk
stop.
to me because
You
my
don't
opinion
have
has no
value because you
value to
keep
you.
worrying about what the man wants.
That's
Just
great.
tell the
Look,
man
I
look,
want to
let,
That ain't
understand
what
how
let,
you
she
feel,
said.
Lady
That
O.
is
all right,
not.
hold
And
on,
now
hold
I
on,
know
hold on,
I
hold
don't
on,
need to
hang
have
on,
a
hang on.
conversation with you
Let me
anymore.
interrupt. Let
Because
me
if my
interrupt.
opinion,
No.
if my
No.
lived experience has
Hold
zero
on, sweetie,
value
you
to you,
tried, it didn't
me and
work.
you
Let
don't
me
need to have
No,
a
interrupt.
I'm not.
conversation.
Hold on. Wait. Let me make the point first. You sitting over here not
Okay.
listening to
Now
what
that
you sitting.
just pissed me
Fair.
off.
This is for the audience. She's sitting up here not listening to what she said. She was basically just comparing to how women's single women lives on these panels be on the chopping block every single day, and it's unfair because a lot of our marriages aren't on the chopping block in the same sense that these single women's lives are. Is
That's
if they could dive deep into our marriages the same way that we dive deep into their lives, I wonder what kind of skeletons will actually start to pop up. That's
false.
all she's
First of
saying is
all, that's false
there is
on both
that's
ends.
there is
Single
no
women are the main
neither
ones that's
my
running around here saying marriage is not a flex. Stop it.
that's not what
Stop
we
it.
said. That's not the
Stop
case.
it. I
That's not
don't
the point.
care.
That's not the point. You didn't even hear the point. You just talking. She said that their lives are on the chopping block every single day
They
about
put it out
what
there. Don't get on the
and
internet then.
all right, but the thing is that we also ask, we dig into their lives. It ain't just them putting it out there.
They
We
dig
dig
into
into
married
their lives.
people's lives. Stop.
And the
Look,
thing,
you can
no,
if you
they
can
They
do
tell me
don't
not.
have to.
put
They
it
don't
all
have
over
to
there.
talk about it
So
if they
now,
don't want to.
fair enough, but the point still remains the same that our marriages are not up to scrutiny the same way that their
Nobody
lives
Yes,
are.
asks us
it
about our
is.
marriages. No one asks me. Anybody asks me anything, Lace, if you every time you ask me anything about I don't even know if you have. But if anybody asks me about my marriage or my relationship, I talk about shit. All the way from fucking, I had 2 people come for me at the same damn time. Just a month ago, I had to go make a fucking video about.
Bruiser, that's
They
one
went all
example
the
out
way
of
in my what?
that's one example. That's 2 examples out of how often is your marriage questioned?
Bruh, nobody wants. That's not my
How
fault.
exactly because the narrative is
Nobody
always hold on,
wants
wait,
to.
bro. No, the narrative is do not talk about people's marriages.
No, it
Lady
ain't.
O, yes, it
Listen,
is.
and White,
Bro, we
did I
we
ever
literally
tell
do not
somebody they can't ask me questions
and
about
White,
my
how
wife?
often do I comment on your
Hold on, and White, you've been on this panel. Every time they ask me about my wife, I responded.
You answer. Yes, you
I
answer.
what's the etiquette? What's the etiquette though?
ain't
To
no
not
etiquette.
talk
Not
You
the,
about
ask
people's
me
marriage.
whatever the hell.
exactly. That is
But
the etiquette. You're arguing the outlier
no,
versus the rule.
if
The
she say
rule is
my wife ain't
no,
shit,
bro,
then I'm gonna ask her. I'm
no,
gonna
the
have smoke
rule.
with her. But
No,
if she
I'm
asks
asking
me,
you
what
to
does my
argue
wife
the
do?
rule.
What does my wife bring to the
Darwin, what's
table?
the
All this other
rule?
shit.
What's the
Why did
rule?
I think my
What's the
woman was a wife?
rule?
I'm gonna ask all that questions.
What's the rule?
What you mean? What's the rule?
You're arguing the exceptions. What is the rule? We don't typically
Talk
bring up
about
each
people's
other's.
marriages.
That's the
No,
rule.
unless no, the
No,
rule
it's no,
is
there is no unless. That's the
Travis said
Rule.
the
rule.
You
rule.
don't judge. The rule
You
is you
don't
don't
bring it
judge
up if you
people's
don't want
marriages. You
nobody to
don't talk
talk
about
about
their
it.
covenant
It's
because it's
never been.
sacred.
The rule has
That's
never
Marcus,
been.
am
You
I
know,
tripping?
damn, can we
Marcus,
go
am
one
I
at a
tripping?
time? Trev,
Hold on.
We
What's
can
the
be clear.
question?
Trev. The rule
What's
has
the
been
rule when it
if
comes to
you
talking
don't
about
want
people's
to talk
marriages?
about your business, you don't
Yeah.
have to.
Most
The
people
rule
say
has never been don't
Oh,
ask
Bro,
nobody.
bro, the rule has always been that. That's why we don't ask each
No, it
other about
don't.
our
It
marriages.
ain't never
Yes,
been don't
it
ask.
is, bro.
The
Yes,
rule has
it
been
is.
if you do not want to answer or if you do not want to reveal your personal business, you don't have to. It ain't never been, it
Bro,
never been,
we
you don't
we
have to ask.
largely
Don't
do
never ask.
not no, we largely do not ask each other about each other's marriages. That
No,
is
I
the
ask
rule.
motherfuckers all the time.
No, you don't, bro.
I don't ask about their marriages. I just ask them about their relationship. And then if they married, then they come to that. But if they're
Man, bro,
married,
you know
I usually don't really have nothing to say. Like Laisha B
Kevin
is
Samuels
married.
even didn't touch people's
It's really
marriages.
nothing I can
He even
ask
didn't touch people's marriages. That's
Laisha.
the rule.
You're a
In
married
proper
woman.
conversation. conversation. We
It's
do not
really
go.
Sweeney. You could talk all day, bro, if you want to.
I'm asking you, like, because you arguing an exception and not the rule. What's the rule?
This is my point. This is my point. If this woman is married, there's really no questions I can ask. The reason why we go deep in people's relationships is because they're often single or they often struggling to find a mate so they can get married. That's why we're able to go down rabbit holes with people. But oftentimes when people come up here like Lady Di and all these other married women, it often hits a wall because there's really nothing to talk about.
They don't talk about. We don't ask them about their marriages, bro.
Because it's nothing to talk about.
No, it's a lot to talk about. We just typically don't go that far.
The reason why
leave it alone.
The reason why we have these conversations, period, is to solve problems. How in the hell are we diving in somebody's marriage when they don't even have a problem?
Because Darwin, this is what I'm going to say. I think that the issue that Boheem is saying, and the issue that I kind of noticed, which is why I proceeded to ask, it essentially was that woman happy, is because a lot of people use marriage as a cover for being shitty. You're a shitty married person, just like somebody can be a shitty single person. You're still shitty though, but people will think, oh, well, I'm married, so it doesn't matter. You can't dissect me. You can't talk to me. I know more than you because I made it across the finish line. But if you made it across the finish line and you haven't done any emotional work, or if you made it across the finish line, like, I'm telling you this because this is what happens to me. When I get on panels and I talk, I don't lead with, I'm married, right? And like I said, people will then try and tear me down. People will then say shady things to me. All of a sudden, people start listening to me when they hit me with the, well, are you married? And then I say, yeah. And then all of a sudden, they feel like my opinion has more validity. But that didn't, and if you notice, it doesn't change my opinion, me being married. It doesn't change who I am as a person. And I think that that hurts a single person's feelings when you tell them that they are invalid, when you tell them that they must not know anything, when you tell them that they are less than because they aren't married. And you might not be a good person either.
Married women do that. Y'all do that to single women. What you talking about?
I don't do that.
Your man was doing that. She should have got mad at the women that do that. Women are the main ones that do single women like that. It be the married women that do that.
I never told that. I never told a woman
to make women feel like they less than because they men. It really be the women.
Lady O just did it to Bo.
No, I did not. I just not. I'm not
just invalidated what she said and said, I'm not trying to listen to you.
If you
just did
it. She's not here to defend herself, but this is for anybody that's.
Bo, if you watch it, come back up here and tell us how what she just did to you. You just did it to her.
I already know what she said. She's basically saying that single women are scrutinized a lot, But the thing is this: she's trying to tie it into how men look at her with sexual value. She's not an unattractive woman. She is a beautiful woman. Okay, men are gonna look at her the way they're gonna look at her. The thing is, don't sleep with them. That's my whole thing. I can't tell women no more. This is the thing. Okay, you cannot force a man to look at you any other way. That's it. And she's not unattractive, but I'm saying, why are you worrying about those type of men? They're going to keep looking at you that way. Just don't fool with them. If that's because that's the way he's going to treat you for sure. Those are the men that you don't want to entertain. You can't get with him and be like, well, I don't want to be looked at as a piece of meat. You're going to know the man that's going to look at you beyond that. That is my point. It was not. It was not to do anything. I know the single married women are the ones that do this crap. The single women, they do this crap.
Well, I will confess. I will confess that if I see a single woman on here struggling to get in a relationship, I do oftentimes remind them that they do have a sexual marketplace value. I do remind them that they have a weight class. I do remind them that most men, more often than not, are looking for a woman to optimize themselves for him. I do let them know that fertility is important, youth important, all of these other things. I'm not going to sit here and walk any of that back. That's just what I do. That's what I do on my own channel. I do this this is one of my passions. I go deep into these studies, man. I study hard. I work with a lot of people, and oftentimes a lot of that I say it's not made up. It's coming from the data that I'm putting together on my own, and a lot of the stuff that I researched for people that came before me. Rest in peace to Kevin Samuels, my mentor. I have Jeff.